I'm talking to
You go
somebody,
test the waters, and then we're gonna fuck up your relationships
I'm,
out there.
I'm
That's what they're doing. No, your mic is your mic.
a bunch of trade. We're already lowering those tariffs with China. We start making deals with other country to say tax benefits and everything else. I'm bullish on
Yeah, for
Canada.
49,000
Bullish.
cars, it's a bunch of horseshit, and it's a bunch
That's a
of
start. That's a start.
yeah, it's
Wait till they
theater.
start. My mic is my mic.
It led to
Canada's got
a
a good rep.
100% tariffs apparently, so that's a good outcome for that
It's
deal.
okay.
That was good. Your
What's going
mic
on?
is your mic. Did you see that infographic I sent you, TK, on your
I saw
text
that.
messages?
Yeah, thank God. We were talking about that buying land with silver.
Well, you did mention that,
You're getting a freaking
truthfully.
66% discount
Look at that.
on real estate
If you bought your silver a year ago.
if you were gonna buy with silver last year and now you plan on buying silver again. So
Silver's gone up since December 31st, TK. Like,
yeah.
I don't even know how many percent right now. I think it's over 40. It's like on a crazy run. This
I
whole
know.
silver
I'm
story is
loving it.
a
I'm
it's a
I went in
big
on
deal.
silver a while back and I don't go in on much.
I
So I'm
started
happy.
collecting silver on the day I was born, TK. It's been
Whoa,
a long
whoa.
journey.
25 years ago. Oh my God.
25 years ago, the journey began. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got coins from the day I was born, man. It's pretty cool. But it definitely can relate to real estate for sure. I'm gonna get Aiden to put that infographic up so people kind of know what we're talking about here because I think it's interesting. I just made this thing with Grok Imagine and Gemini combined.
Sure.
I liked the one that Grok came up with better than the one ChatGPT came up with, quite honestly. But I,
Sure.
I butted their heads against
But
each
just
other
so
to
people
see
who are
what came
listening
out.
and never will see this, what it basically just shows is the difference in the average price of Toronto real estate and how many ounces of silver it would have cost you in January 2025 versus the average cost of Toronto real estate in January 2026 and how many ounces of silver it would be in order to purchase that home. And it went from back a year ago, 33,248 ounces down to 10,067 ounces. So,
A difference
just in
of,
case you have 10,000 ounces of silver at home, go and
well,
buy yourself a house.
I think the point is not so much about how much silver people have at home and whether they can actually use it to buy a house,
Hmm.
but
What is the
the,
point? What is the point?
well,
Was
the
it the
point,
rise in silver or was it the decrease in house prices?
well, it seems to me, if you look at this, the prices of the average home didn't really change much in the year. But what did change is the value of that money that you need to pay for it, right? So the 23,200 less ounces of silver means that the
Hmm.
Canadian dollar took a nosedive in the last year because our purchasing power relative to things that actually matter, right? Like our paper money versus a physical asset that everybody
Yep.
values has plummeted. And so, I mean, you'll talk about is silver like it's going to crash, it's going to go to half. This is crazy. It's
Well,
hitting levels that no one's ever seen before.
look at the stock market. You
Look
know,
at the
Bitcoin
stock
didn't have
market.
a great year. Look at gold. Look at you know,
Did you just
foreign
cut me
assets.
off while making a sip? Taking a sip? You like cut me off and took a
I cut you
sip?
off.
And took a sip?
Sorry, I
That
thought you
was
were
a
done.
new move.
Sorry.
Unprecedented move. Yeah, go on.
But all those things, what you're saying is absolutely true. I'm agreeing with you. I'm not cutting off the argument. I'm cutting off
No,
to
no,
say
you're yeah.
absolutely is you waited a year later, unfortunately for less money for your home to sell it, and now with that money you can buy even less. So my point
Even less
is
by a mile. That's
that
like
I'm
70% or something
sure,
less.
but let's just say even if it's like a domestic product, you know, the value of the goods that you're going to purchase from the sale proceeds of your home are going up faster than the value of your home. So by the time you get that price that you're hoping for, guess what?
Yeah, you can buy a loaf of bread.
You're not buying any
Yay.
more than you can today,
But
selling at the lower price. In fact, it could be even worse for you. So,
so, but
anyways, what people are
this
doing.
is bordering on hyperinflation, is it not? Like that's a lot
Mm,
of purchase. I mean, it's not like
no.
gold and other assets are not equally going bananas, right? Everything
So
physical
when
has gone crazy because the actual need for the materials now, not only the trading value for them, is going through the roof on a lot of things, right? People have
sure,
realized, oh shit, like there's a paper market, right? This is for people that don't know about what's going on, right? It's like the condo market for God's sakes in Toronto, right? It's like people were just trading paper, meaningless garbage paper for something down the line, and there was nothing yet to physically back it. There was a dream, right? And that dream exploded. Well, silver is that on steroids, it seems, TK, because all these people own all this silver paper, right? Like I got this and I got that, ETF this or whatever, fucking that. There's no silver for it, right?
yeah,
There's nothing around, and everybody that actually has physical silver, like
they've
those,
promised it to 18 different people through different
right,
contracts.
right. Like I've
Yeah,
bought some silver that I haven't seen, and it's gone up like crazy. Right? They can't
yeah,
deliver it fast enough, this stuff. It's
yeah.
absolute insanity. But the price is locked in from 3 weeks ago, which at the moment looks good. But the thing with silver, TK, is like it doesn't fucking matter. You're not spending this stuff unless it's like the end of the line or a really rainy day, right? I think. Like you don't
Yeah.
buy physical silver because you want to make money off this shit.
So silver and gold don't make you rich, they prevent you from being poor. And so that's why countries
Protect you.
are buying a lot more silver and gold right now, not because they're trying to be able to use that. They're looking at it like, okay, well, how do we protect our country and our own economy from future inflation and uh, those type of global pressures.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I'm double subscribed. Do it yourself. Didn't get to fix the show though. Didn't get to fix the show.
But based on what you were saying though, for hyperinflation, U.S. dollars is what everything's measured in. They're printing $1 trillion every 3 months.
Yeah, well, I
So
mean,
as
if you
as
do it
long
in
as we're
US
keeping up with the
dollars,
U.S. dollar, then at the end of the day, we're a little bit more insulated than
no.
other countries.
No, this is the problem. This is the illusion of what's going on
But
right now
but
because
that's
hold
what
on,
it's
hold on.
based off of.
It's based off of that, but in the background, what we've been talking about for a couple of years now is this BRICS thing and all these other countries who are like, we don't want this shit anymore. We have enough of that garbage paper that's losing value like crazy, and we don't want to deal with it anymore. We don't even have to. You guys can go fuck yourselves. We're big enough now. We don't need you,
Are they?
right? Are they?
Are they?
Are they?
Well,
I don't know.
how come hasn't happened yet? I mean, it sounds
It's
good. It
happening,
sounds like
TK.
Bitcoin's gonna go through,
Not
but
fucking Bitcoin. Like all these superpowers that are trading with each other in not US dollars right now. Okay.
okay,
China and Russia and Iran and
sure.
all these people are trading in different currencies than the US dollar. Venezuela, I mean, hello. Why do you think Venezuela's gone? Because they have a ton of shit that they want that they were going to start selling in not US dollars, right?
Well, they were selling a lot in Bitcoin, but again, what just happened
Bitcoin.
to Venezuela?
What should happen to
No,
Venezuela?
what just happened to Venezuela?
What do you mean? They just got taken over by the
Okay,
United States of America.
what's going on with all the other trade routes that Russia was exploiting in the Arctic?
Right.
Oh,
Exactly. And
right?
this is what's
So now
happening.
that's changing. So now
No,
and
but they're like flexing. They're
What's going on
flexing.
with China? China right now is because they've got trillions of dollars of contracts throughout the world for infrastructure that they've lent money out on, and
Yeah.
the U.S. is basically going in there, basically saying, "Hey, if we start doing what we did to Venezuela, we could make all of those contracts that you have worthless," and basically eliminating uh, sovereign debt that China has with all these other countries throughout the world, hundreds of countries, right? And so it's
What?
like the
Say
country.
that. Explain this. So what are
So
they going to do?
if China owes money to Venezuela, Venezuela owes money to China
Okay.
because China said, "Hey, we're going to build some roads and we're going to build some
Yeah.
ports and we're going to
Yeah.
give you some bridges."
Yeah.
But then the U.S. goes in there and they take
And
over Venezuela
oh, yeah.
and
So there
basically
you
just
go.
say, "Hey, you don't owe China any
We don't
money
honor
anymore."
this. Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
right? Where
Yeah.
does China's money go?
Well,
down
but
the
what does
toilet.
China do? They just go, "Oh, okay,
Oh,
like
they're going to
thanks
fight
for
it in
playing."
court, and they're going to fight it in court and
In
see where
court?
it ends up. But look at all the pressures that Trump's been using.
You don't think
You know,
China has a military that matches the United States at this
no,
point?
no,
No?
no.
Why? Why?
Sorry.
They do everything better than everybody. Why is that the thing that they're not good
Honestly,
at?
they do a lot of things really well,
A lot of things better
but
than everybody,
not
no?
military.
Not military.
No.
They missed that one. They were like,
They're really good at like having a parade with a lot of people and showing off a lot of cool things. They're very
yeah,
good at that, and they can be like, we have 100 million people,
yeah.
but no, they don't. They don't have the same tactical, you know, cognitive type of military skills that the U.S. does. Not even close.
No, you don't think
No,
that they've just been playing everybody the whole time? No,
not
they're
even
just
close.
a
So
bunch of dummies. Okay.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying they're amazing and better at a lot of things than any other country is. But that it's not. They're not a military country.
Not a
They
military.
want
But
to
you
be,
don't
but they're
have to
not.
even be a military country anymore. I mean, you could completely disable countries in all kinds of
They're
other
good. They're
ways,
good at
right?
doing it the other ways. Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
they're
anyways,
great at the other way.
my point is, and let's move on because let's
We
get
got to
back
bring
to
our
our Toronto
guest
real
on
estate.
too. Yeah.
We got lots of Toronto real estate stuff to talk about.
Are we the
Is
Toronto real
as
estate
long
show
as we're
again?
compared to the U.S. dollar, and the U.S. dollar is going to be the standard for oil
Yeah, we're
and other
fucked.
currencies. No, we're protected.
We're protected against what? A
Because
70%.
they are inflating the hell out of their currency, and so it keeps the value of our dollar and able to be traded with other countries across the world. But let's talk
Well,
about
maybe
100% tariffs.
100% tariffs being
Yeah.
lifted on the EV stuff.
No, being imposed on Canada by US. Trump just announced that.
He did? I didn't even hear that. Does that
It just
even matter anymore? Like,
it just got announced. He just said
look at you,
we're doing
Carney. Good job.
100% tariffs on Canada
Wow.
if they do a deal with China.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely the right move from their perspective, I
Right?
suppose. I mean, if you're
So
throwing tariffs around like they don't mean anything, that's a good one.
this
So
is how I
now
look
what?
at it.
Now
Canada is
we're
going to remain
fucked.
US's largest trading partner. There's just too many connections. There's too many businesses. There's too many things. There
Yeah,
may be some tariffs.
no
There may
doubt.
not be. Who knows what's going to happen? We're still going to be
Crazy
number one.
tariffs.
But think about how good this is for Canada.
How
Think
good
about
is it?
how much it forces our hand to start doing relationships with other countries. Think about how much more
Are we
trade we're going to
allowed?
have.
You just said
Don't
they're
worry
going to
about
nuke them. Yeah.
no. That stuff
No,
is nonsense. It's our biggest trading partner.
no, not nuke us. He's going to nuke our partners for doing business with us. You just
No,
finished saying that's what they did like in
they didn't.
Venezuela.
They didn't nuke them. They came in there and took out their
Took
leader,
it
and they're
over.
trying to restore glory.
Yeah. You're,
The Greenland situation is the same thing. They're
you're,
taking away their trade routes. They're not fighting with military. They're
no,
fighting here with
we're just
resources
taking what
and
we
trade
need.
routes
Yeah.
and currency wars. But what I'm trying to say is
Same
this:
thing.
if there's a 100% tariff, it's a good thing for Canada. It's a Canadian real estate show. It's a good thing for Canada
Tell me how.
because we're going to start making better deals with countries. U.S. is 350 million people, whatever. It's 400 million people in the world.
Yeah.
8 billion people are in the world, Daryl.
Yeah. I know.
8 billion.
You heard
There's
it
a
here
lot of people to
first,
do
man.
business. There's a
I
lot of people to do business with in the world, and if we
listen.
focus on those people, the markets are massive.
Diversification was always the answer. We were just
Yeah,
held back, but now it sounds like, it's like, yeah, go try and test the waters, guys, and then we're gonna just
and
fuck you
I'm
up when
talking
you
to
go.
I'm talking to
You go
somebody.
test the waters, and then we're gonna fuck up your relationships
I'm
out there.
I'm
That's what they're doing. No,
I'm talking to somebody
don't you
today,
dare.
and he's telling me he's from an African country, and he's telling me how he wants to move back to his country, which is, people are making money. He says, you go there, you make money, everybody's making money over there, right? What am I doing in Canada, right?
Yeah.
And then he was talking about, well, unless there's war, then there's, instability. And then he's like, he was telling me about he had his brother passed. I said, oh, I'm sorry, your brother passed. He died when I was 3. I said, oh, okay. And he said, my mother had 12 children, and 5 of them died when we were young. I
That's
said, oh, well, that
that's
doesn't
sad.
happen here in Canada, right? So these
Yeah.
are the type of things that you look at when people are deciding which country to live in, which country they want their
How
kids,
did you
which
get
country they're going to
there?
invest,
How did you get
because
onto that?
because international investment from all those relationships we develop after the U.S.
Ah,
sticks the proverbial wall between us and their country on the border. we start looking at other countries, and there's a ton of money, and there's a ton of people, and there's a ton of reasons why people want to be in Canada. If we give them good reasons, we open up a bunch of trade. We're already lowering those tariffs with China. We start making deals with other countries to say tax benefits and everything else. I'm bullish on
Yeah, for
Canada.
49,000
Bullish.
cars, it's a bunch of horseshit, and it's a bunch
That's a
of
start. That's a start.
yeah, it's
Wait till they
theater.
start. Wait till they start making deals with every single
Let's see.
country out there and
Yeah.
giving everybody an incentive to come
Well,
here.
it led to
Canada's got a good rep.
100% tariffs apparently, so that's a good outcome for that
That's
deal.
okay.
That was good.
All
Hey,
right,
we
we got
got
a guest. We
Zachary
got a
here.
guest.
Hey, Zach.
What did I just come into? Some
What
heated.
did you just walk into?
That's
I
okay.
actually got the feed in from the start, so I would know the energy coming in here, guys. I love it.
We're just
Yeah.
giving you a little example of what we're going on. So, Zach, give us a little intro. Who are we talking to today?
Yeah, man. So I'm a mortgage broker with Vine Group. I specialize in like debt optimization strategies. So that's kind of what I wanted to chat with you, specifically real estate investors, the mom and pop real estate investor, the people that, bought a rental property because their realtor said it was a good idea and they talked to nobody else about it and they've got no strategy, no plan.
The
So
fucking realtor disappeared on them too. The one that
Yeah,
sold them the
blocked them,
property,
deleted
right?
their
Oops.
contact, never,
they sold them a great pre-construction, a
Right?
free
No,
cons.
big deal.
right?
Something that will never go down. That's what they sold them.
No habla español.
Buy
No
6 of
habla
them. You got enough
inglés.
down payment to buy 6 of them, and then we'll flip them before closing.
I
Guaranteed
spoke,
money.
I
Do your
spoke,
parents have a line of credit? Yeah, anybody fat your cousin have a line of credit?
I
Anybody
can get
want
your
to?
line of credit.
I can get you a
I
line
spoke
of
I know
to
credit.
Zach.
few people last week that they're closing on 2 or 3 of them, right? They're all coming up. All of
Hold
them
on.
are $100,000 less than what they purchased them at. What are they going to do, right?
What are they going to do?
They're leaning on
Bankruptcy.
equity from
Tell
mom,
them.
dad properties. Exactly what you just said. Like line of credit, pulling stuff.
You don't want to hear this because on the mortgage side, there's obviously a deal at the end. But you know what? Best advice: tell them to stick it to the builder. Tell the builder to sue them. I'm not closing. Sell it to somebody else, and whatever the loss is, I'll
That's
figure it
some
out. Because
dangerous advice, bro.
that's the best advice.
It
Is
honestly
it?
is what I've told some people. Like there's one
Yeah.
deal that just makes absolutely no sense, and the
Yeah.
deposit that he's put in there is low. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna have to go through the stress of maybe 2 years of litigation, whatever that's gonna be with the builder, or just
Right.
try to work out a deal with the lawyer to kind of push on them and
They'll
say,
settle. They
You
don't
know
want to
what?
go through years
Nobody
and
wants
years
to go
of
through it.
litigation. They'll settle for
Yeah.
less than what you'll lose if you close.
Uh-huh.
Almost 90% of the time, that's my best advice for people right now in this situation. Honestly,
and that's exactly like you only had 25K in the property just in this example, right? I'm like, you're just walk away from the 25. If you close, you've lost 100. It's a theoretical loss because you haven't sold it, but like the property's worth 100K less than when you bought it. So it's like guaranteed 25, just take it right now or hold this property that even if you put a tenant in there, it's cash flow negative by $500-600 a
stress
month.
you out. You'll lose 10 years of your life.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
Chinese lady yesterday told me bought 3 properties, multiple like 1.5 to 1.8 million dollars each one of them downtown. Had a beautiful home in Aurora. Thought it was like, life was good, and someone sold her on the idea of making a bunch of money in pre-con. So what did she do? She sold her home in Aurora and head back to China with the money.
See you later.
That's the play. Go back to your
Yeah.
home country, wherever it is. Take your money that you can from your principal residence, and come back in 5 years when the dust settles. The builders will settle. The builders will settle.
I suppose if you can leave the country and ignore everybody, that is a strategy. But for the people that got suckered into it here, like the 50, 60-year-olds with all the equity in their houses that saw everybody around them not losing and making a goddamn fortune while they sat there figuring out how the fuck am I going to afford this renovation of my kitchen, right? These guys are driving Lambos. They jumped in, right? And a lot of people got caught up in that crazy shit, no? And
What
so
would be
hold
their
on a second.
damages? What would be their damages, Darryl?
Well, I guess it depends on which person or which developer you end up trying to pull that move on, right? Because some of them will.
He's a developer, by the way, Zach. So just
I'm aware. I do
Well,
my
like perspective, his viewpoint on this. Just
Well,
but don't try and screw him. He's one of the
right.
ones
Well,
talking about.
no,
Just
it's listen,
See,
I'm small potatoes, right? So depending on who you try and screw or who you try and back out of the deal that you agreed to, you could be in for a different experience, right?
Well,
Than
how
what
much
you got.
power and money do they have behind them where they could sit in litigation and try and recoup the loss off of you? Or if it's just someone who's like, okay, whatever, see you later.
Well,
Send
I
me a
mean,
settlement
listen,
offer. That's what I'll say. Send me a settlement offer. I'll represent myself.
and chances are, more often than not, a settlement will be the situation. But again, it depends who you're picking that battle against. It shouldn't be a blanket statement, I think. And it should really be dependent on how well capitalized the company you're going up against is, right? I think. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
Anyways,
I'm crazy.
I'm treating it as a blanket statement because I think that the realtors who are waiting for their commission, for the second half of their commission, are
Yeah.
putting pressure on their buyers. I think the mortgage brokers who want to get a deal because there's going to be some fees because
That's
there's some private lending and all that, and the real estate lawyers who did the initial contract review don't know litigation, so they're just like, well, you don't want to have to go to litigation, you got to close. But
well,
I think any
that's where RBC's coming in with these blanket appraisals, or not just RBC.
criminal,
It's
Yeah,
just
what's going on with that? I was gonna mention that. It's like those
it's
still going on.
it's just mortgage fraud. Like they're just saying,
Yeah.
yeah, it's worth this, and they're giving 105% loan to value mortgages on these
it's
properties.
not mortgage fraud. It could be, but it's more mortgage protection because don't forget. So you've got these big, gigantic construction loans out to the builder, right? And I mean, you do want these things to close because it's way, way better from the lender's perspective to have $200 million loans out there than it is to have one $200 million loan, right? So they want to get that money replaced by smaller pieces that could pay, could not pay,
That might
could
not
delay
pay.
pay, that may
Yeah.
not pay, but the chances are, like TK's saying, most of them will figure out how to pay, right? So anyways, it's an interesting
It's
game that
more,
could go on
more
right
just of
now.
the like, the literal 105, 110% loan to value loans that are being applied. Like, where's the financial services, coming in and saying,
Is
hey, this isn't allowed, right?
Yeah,
Or
100%.
there's
Yeah.
no,
Criminal. It will be eventually. It will be eventually. There's no way that would be like something that's long standing. What about insured mortgages with blanket? Is that happening?
that's the workaround too that other people
Yeah.
that I've seen people closing, right? They say,
Yeah.
okay, instead of 20%, we'll put down 19%. It's an
Yeah.
insured mortgage.
Criminal.
And and
Criminal.
then, and then the insurance company just does the appraisal or no appraisal on it,
Yeah.
and then you get the deal done.
No
Taxpayer money.
appraisal? Is that what you just
Taxpayer
said?
money.
Yeah,
Taxpayer
No
money.
appraisal?
Bank is safe. The
because
taxpayer will pay.
yeah, insured mortgages generally there's no actual like appraisal. It's done. It's on the back end with the insurer says, okay, sure, that's the value that you bought it at, and let's go from there, right? And then it's an insured deal because you put less than 20%. They just put 19
So,
or
but
whatever.
why do we have so many? Why do we have so many of these deals where the appraisals are coming in short and people are having problems closing? If we got these blanket appraisals out there, is it like only some buildings are doing it, or
It's
only some
it's
banks are doing it?
Exactly. It's the banks that had a deal with the builder initially. Generally, it's I've seen most of them with RBC, but I'm sure there's other banks that had, deals with these developers, and they're just saying, we'll do it at this value that you purchased it at, and we'll give you the money for 80% of the
Right.
purchase price, not the actual market value as it is now.
See, and TK, this ties into our conversation from last week and the one that I guess I'll have after this show with the Tom Story show is like, what is the value, right? It's not what somebody's willing to pay. Clearly, from this discussion, because somebody was willing to pay 1.4 for the condo, and now it's worth 1.2. And what's going to happen? If there's a blanket appraisal, it might close. If there isn't one, you might lose everything. So what's the fuck? What is the thing worth, for fuck's sakes?
But
This
someone
is
was
the
willing to pay
problem.
for the rights to buy that condo. No one ever physically stepped in the condo
Ooh.
and ever said it was worth that number.
That's a
That's the difference.
technicality of
Yeah.
stupidity and
Yeah.
people just being really fucking dumb, I
It was
think.
a lot. It was a hole in the ground, whatever, when they bought it, right? It was an existing building. It was the piece of paper that they were hoping, to what you just said previously, buy three of them and flip them and make 100 grand on each one before it was even constructed. Just sell three pieces of paper and make 300,000 because that's what was
Right.
happening previous to this,
Well, so
right?
how is there not, like you're saying, and I've said it a bunch of times, the goddamn fucking appraisers, okay? It's like somebody needed to stop this thing from a fiduciary legal like perspective based on what your job requirement is. And I can't see, and I said it so many times, how the hell did an appraiser go, well, yesterday they bought it for 100 and the day before somebody bought it for 95 and they're on the market for 115 right now. So the price is whatever the hell they paid for the goddamn thing.
In this case, the appraiser hasn't been involved yet. But like Zach, people who listen to our show love real stories. So like, give us some stories about appraisals. Like, what's going on right now? What are you
I
seeing
mean,
where it's
I
like,
mean, appraisal, like, well, I do a lot of restructuring and refinancing and like debt optimization, which we'll talk about in a minute, because that's getting more difficult as well, right? Because you've got a mortgage even 5 years ago, and it was 800,000. You bought the home at 1 million. Now it's 950. You paid it down a bit. So now you can't move the mortgage to another lender if you don't have like the 80% loan to value there as well. So I'm seeing that, and everybody is, if they're living in their home, not accepting the fact that it's worth $200,000 less than when they bought it, right? So like there's a difference between like the pre-construction stuff is, yeah, it's crazy. But even the people that just have homes and they're trying to say, okay, my mortgage is up for renewal and I paid this thing on a 3-year fixed when I bought it, and now you go to, okay, let's shop your options. Well, you don't have any options because we have to get an appraisal done on those. There's no blanket appraisal on your home that you own. We need to get an appraisal. It's worth this. You don't have enough equity to move. So now the lender can also just give you whatever the renewal offer is, right? There's not even any negotiation room to kind of shop that around. Now, most of the time you can get a pretty good deal on your renewals right now. Like banks are being pretty competitive with that anyway in regards to the market rate. But if you're trying to structure a line of credit, do any sort of debt optimization, do any sort of investing, and the people that I talk to, like the average, like I say, mom and pop landlord is pretty much my client avatar. They own 1, 2 investment properties or have a basement suite. And we want to kind of put a plan in place to start creating more tax deductibility and restructuring debt. They just don't have an option. It's like, that's it. They've just like their home's decreased in value. Now they have to stay with that lender and keep paying it down or sell it to access any sort of kind of equity.
which is good. I think that the way that Canadians have been treating their homes as a source of equity and funds is why we're in this situation in the first place. Imagine if people weren't allowed to borrow money from their home to buy pre-construction. Imagine if that was like a rule. It was like you had to prove where the money came from, and it couldn't be from a mortgage that you're refinancing, right?
Yeah,
How
Yeah,
many deals would have gone through?
but that's crazy because it's your
Why is it
money.
crazy?
Well, it's your equity. You're borrowing your own money. You should be allowed to do what you want. You just shouldn't be so fucking dumb is the thing, right? You
Okay,
shouldn't
but
have a bunch of,
you always say there should be like a financial planner involved in people's
yeah, you
decisions to
That's
can't
go
what I
through all
afford
that
to
kind of
do
stuff.
this, right?
Well,
That's a different story than you have
so,
access to it.
but it's their money, Darryl. They should be able to do whatever they want with it.
Oh, but that is exactly what I was going to say. Like, and this is what, the stuff that I put out online, I talk about is that, someone was told by a realtor to buy pre-construction. I was like, awesome. You had no money in your TFSA or RSPs or investment accounts. Why was this the first option? Like, why didn't you talk to your accountant and a financial planner and somebody other than just your bank? Talk to a mortgage professional. You just like, this is going to be the idea that I'm going to go to first with all of my, I'm
Greed,
going to access
greed.
the equity and do that. Why don't you take that 100 grand out for the deposit and stick in your TFSA for tax-free growth forever? Like, why
Yeah.
don't you start there and then maybe do some real estate?
Greed and lack of financial literacy, right? So,
Stupidity. Yeah,
yeah, this
absolute
is it.
stupidity, right?
Yeah,
Because you can't, if you start making rules like that, right? Imagine what rules start stemming off of that when that becomes okay to tell people how they're allowed to fucking spend the money they have or the money they have access to.
yeah.
That's like crossing a crazy line that we should not get into on any level. But you should have a trusted guy that you can go to say,
For
like, is this a good
secondary
fucking
properties,
move?
You
Like,
need a team. Nobody has
sec
a team. Like everybody that I talk to,
oh,
they'll go and ask their like accountant for advice that should be a financial planner or something like that. Like when I have people with rental properties, like they're like, well, my accountant's doing this for me. I'm like,
accountants are idiots.
you don't need
Accountants
the
are idiots.
accountant. You just need a
Yeah.
realtor, for God's sakes,
Every
right?
investment advice I've ever
what
heard
are
from
you
an
talking
accountant
about?
has been the worst advice I've ever gotten.
A
Well, they're not there
realtor.
to do a
No,
plan. They're there to file your taxes. That's what people,
Exactly.
they think they're holding
Hold
these
on a sec. Hold
Yeah.
higher
on.
Yeah.
standards,
What'd
right?
you say though? You get the worst advice
The
from accountants?
worst financial investment advice from is I get from the accountants.
Well,
Yes.
you have the wrong accountants then.
No, no, they're tax planners, Daryl.
And they're giving you bad advice. You have the wrong
they
ones, clearly.
no, they give you
What?
advice on how to be able to strategize your taxes in order to be able to minimize that impact. But as far as actually making money, so
Yeah.
your accountant says, "Hey, you should go and buy development land, and then you can go and take it here and da da da." That's what your accountant tells you.
No, I don't ask him what I should do. I run things by him and see what the
Yeah, on
implications
the
are, right?
implications are exactly.
A hundred
But when the
percent.
accountant starts saying
I
you
don't
should
even
go and
ask
buy
him for
pre-construction,
advice.
well,
Yeah, then you're
exactly. That's
fucked.
that's my point. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the
But
worst
that's
person to
what
get advice on.
we're also talking about from a different level of understanding on real
Yeah.
estate, which is we're in this industry. So the
Right.
average mom and pop, again, landlord, investor, person that just owns one property,
Yeah.
right, is going to their accountant and thinking that they are of all the information. So they could never possibly be leading them in astray. And they're going to take their word as the gold standard that they're doing absolutely everything to kind of protect their financial future. Where
Yeah.
that's like a financial planner or someone like putting somebody in place or putting a team. Have a smart realtor that does understand real estate investing and a mortgage broker and a financial planner and an accountant. That's what you need. Not
I want a financial planner who's retired and he doesn't need to work anymore because he
Right.
figured it out. Then I'll take advice from that guy.
Right.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
They're all broke ass fucking morons that
It's
are
like
like
your
selling
realtor
up.
owns zero rental properties. He's still
Yeah.
working his butt off, but he's giving you investment advice on real
Yeah.
estate.
And he's
Like,
pulling up in the
or
Toyota.
the person directly from the bank, right?
Yeah.
Like I set up a plan for
Like the
somebody. So
bitch
is
at the bank.
here's an example for you on some real life examples. Like I set up a plan and it was a rental cash damming plan. So that's what I do. Okay. This is a client. They have one investment property, one primary residence. To give you the basics on cash damming, if you guys don't know the background, it's you take rental income that you receive from your one rental property, use it to pay down your primary residence mortgage. So you reduce the primary balance on the debt and you reborrow money from a line of credit to cover all the rental property expenses.
yeah,
You do this because it
you
increases
write off the interest of the
and then
principal
you use the
residence
tax
loan.
deduction to pay
Yeah,
down the primary faster. Put
yeah.
together a plan. It's projections, it's numbers, it's math. You do this, this is what happens. You follow the plan. That's going to, now I do that in the guidance of an accountant that understands things and a financial planner that's going to keep and hold them.
People don't have the discipline for that. People
I'm
don't have
not,
the discipline for
just
that.
No,
doing it, but I structure it out. The
Yeah.
point of what I was saying is that they go to finalize this stuff with the bank, and they talk to financial planner, and the planner there, who's been a 6-year senior financial planner or whatever, says you can't do this. This is illegal. This isn't going to work. You're not allowed to borrow money to do this or whatever. And they come back to me saying, "Oh, everything you told me is wrong." I'm like, "Here's the tax folio. Here's the case law and study." Like this financial planner that's a senior planner has told
Yeah.
them all of
Making
this.
$60,000 a year.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're taking advice from a bank teller, basically. I'm like, that's what you just did. Walk in
Yeah.
and take advice from the person that's sitting behind the counter at the bank.
I'm starting to see some files lately for people who bought pre-construction. And normally, like, I don't know, I'm not a mortgage broker, so I don't really know everybody's incomes and all that kind of stuff. But we're trying to restructure things to get them out of all these messes. And so, this information is coming to light. And they're making like 40, 50, $60,000. And somebody was like, yeah, you should go and buy a pre-construction condo. Like, it's like they don't even qualify for, because they have a mortgage on their principal. They don't even qualify for the mortgage if they had to close that sucker. And it's like, what am I dealing with? That's like the majority of people. They're not rich people.
I personally remember like 3-4 years ago, people are buying all these pre-constructions and they would come to me to ask for a pre-approval. And I put the numbers together and I'd say, you can't buy this. You do not qualify for this. And then disappear for a little while. And then they come back to me a couple of years later. Okay, my pre-construction is closing. I told you that you cannot afford this. So now what makes a difference? Did you earn an extra $60K a year now on your income? No, I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah. Can you afford a higher interest rate now?
Because you don't need a real pre-approval when you're buying these pre-constructions. That's the thing too. Like a pre-approval is you can get a pre-approval from a bank just saying this is my income and give me a piece of paper that says
they were giving out those approvals too. So there was a way to be able to get that letter without having to
get the letter by. It was basically like getting a car loan. If you walk into a dealership and say I make $100K a year and don't have any expenses. And they say, you're approved. Like that was
I
the,
tell them I tell them I make 10 million every time. I'm like, I'm here for the Lamborghini,
yeah,
$10 million a year income. Can I test drive?
yeah,
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 but
exactly. And
I
that's,
haven't bought my Lamborghini yet, just so you know.
yeah, you're waiting on 11 million here. They weren't going to qualify.
I'm waiting for the
Yeah,
income
yeah,
to bump up a
He's
little
been
bit.
banned from all Lamborghini dealerships in Ontario.
Yeah, but it was fun. Do we have a track that we can go to and drive like in Vegas and stuff? Is there one like that?
There's a
I know the
Porsche
Porsche
track.
racing. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Porsche one, but we don't have we don't have
think
that.
I think there was one up
probably do.
like it's like I think I saw something like the Grand Bend Raceway or something. Isn't there one up around
Isn't there like a Mo Sports
like a
something or
little
other?
Motorsports,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they don't have like exotic cars that you can just rent and
I
drive
think
like
you
the one I
can.
did
Yeah,
that in
yeah.
Vegas. That was
Yeah,
fun.
you can. You
Yeah?
can. Yeah,
Okay.
you
All
can.
right.
For sure you can.
Just sorry, side note there. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know where the hell we ended up there. Okay, so guys, where are we right now? What is this market? What's happening with interest rates? Let's talk about, since Bank of Canada next week is going to make an announcement. Probably not really make an announcement, but what do you think about that? What's going to happen next week?
We're gonna just be reactionary, stay pretty stagnant right now, I think, on the rate structure. Like the Bank of Canada's not gonna make any moves. There's a lot of people that are still pointing towards we may see another cut or two this year, right? In the spring into the summertime, maybe a quarter point, but they're just gonna be very reactionary and kind of cautious. I think it stays pretty the same just depending on what happens. Like the economy's not good, so that usually means like pretty shit. So it usually means that the Bank of Canada is going to, cut rates to sort of stimulate, but then at the end of everything, rates have to kind of go back up. I see a pretty stable environment, so to speak, as like just an unchanged environment. Not stable, I guess is not really the right word for what's happening right now, but no significant shifts. There haven't been any significant shifts I've seen for the last like couple months, really, in terms of what people are being offered from banks.
Fixed rates, though, right? 5 year fixed rates have been going up a little bit.
A little bit, but you can still go like negotiate down with the lender and the bank and say, hey, I'm getting this from here and this from there. And you're getting around like the 4%, low 4%, like high 3% on the variable adjustable. I've seen some great renewals that are even closer to like the mid 3% on the variable adjustable side.
I heard a prime minus point 0.8 this week.
Yep, and I've
Which
seen
was
I've seen prime minus point 0.9 on
yeah.
on some renewals, right? If you
Yeah.
just go back and get an offer from somewhere, bring it back to your bank and negotiate it down. I'm in the business of like what I'm focusing on is how do we increase the tax efficiency? How do we move money around, cash damming stuff? Talking about a kind of different level of individual on that. But the average Canadian that's just up for renewal is probably going to get the best deal from their bank. And any mortgage broker that says, well, I'll get you a better deal or better rate with no strategy behind it is basically just lying. This is the thing that bothers me too with mortgage brokers in general is that they deny that there's a premium you're paying for working with a mortgage broker. Like your bank will always give you a lower interest rate offer, like 100% of the time. It's been like that for quite a long time. So if you're working with a mortgage broker, they better be providing like significant value to you in either like, I'm going to monitor the rates and the situation for you and actually reach out to you to save you money when things like maybe shift. Because a lot of mortgage brokers like realtors, so you sell the home and then, okay, see you later. Call me if you need me. They're not like checking in. They're not actually doing good like post closing service there to their clients or providing any other strategies or significant value offer there.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the majority of the time, you're going to get just if you want the lowest rate and you don't care about anything else, like there's other things you should care about as a Canadian homeowner and everything, and there's strategies and all this sorts of good stuff. But if you're just like, I just want the lowest rate, then just go to RBC and say that you've got an offer from TD and they'll give you a better rate.
Now, on the
Yeah.
money side, though, because the rate obviously relates to money and total interest paid, I think what a really great value that a mortgage broker would provide is that in-depth analysis on what would be better for them. What type of
And
term, variable fixed,
Exit,
step
exit
mortgages,
clause. Some of these
all that
exit
stuff.
clauses are really fucking prohibitive. Like, if people don't
Like the
read,
discharge penalty stuff. Like, you mean?
yeah, like if you
yeah,
sell your house, you could end up paying God knows how many thousands of dollars you weren't expecting if you don't understand the way the terminology is written in some of these things.
100%
Yeah.
prepayment privileges, what that means to you, how are you making the payments? Like that's what I mean by the value piece, right?
Yeah.
Like all those things you just said. But if your mortgage broker is like, here's your mortgage and sign the paper, and like there's been no discussions of like, especially around renewals, right? This renewal thing, because I know you mentioned earlier, like don't tap into your equity just to go buy whatever. If you have a plan, tapping into your equity can be massive for you,
Yeah.
right? If you have, this is the biggest conversation I have with people on renewals. Like, what do your investments look like right now? What is in your registered accounts, your TFSA? What do you do on a monthly basis? Like those are the conversations the bank's just going to send them the piece of paper and say, let's go. But if we look at like a 20-year amortized mortgage at 4%, you've got 500,000, right? So my whiteboard example right behind me here is like you got a $500,000 mortgage, a 3K payment, 20-year am, that's 4%. If you increase that to 600K, say you have the equity and you've got contribution room in your TFSA and you pop 100,000 into TFSA, maybe combined, husband, wife, whatever that may be, and you increase it to like a 27-year amortization, that keeps your monthly payment exactly the same. But you've just front loaded your tax-free growth in your best tax efficient vehicle for investing with the exact same monthly payment. So instead of making a drip of $500 a month into it over time, you just stack that account. Now you've got compound growth in there and you have the exact same monthly payment, right? You're going to pay your mortgage off slower over time, but the argument to be made is like, well, what do you want? Do you want to have a higher net worth at the end of the day or a paid off home? But then you have to tap into the equity anyway of your home and pull the money out to retire or to have any sort of
To
wealth. Like
live, yeah.
Canadians aren't investing a dollar. I talk to 30, 40 people a week on calls. And I'm like, you've got 4K in your investment accounts and you're just like hammering down, paying down the mortgage. Like it's not risky leverage when it's done in a strategic way that keeps your monthly payments relatively the same. And again, you have a team, financial planner, an accountant, a mortgage, but like you're adding value.
But the problem was that people were doing that to buy stuff that lost money every month.
That's the
Okay.
problem.
Like, hello, what the fuck was everybody thinking? And this goes down like there's so many layers of people that it had to go through to get the like thumbs up for that to be the buyer, right? Because the developer also has to say, like, yeah, I'm good with this buyer. I think they're going to close this thing. But they didn't, and they didn't have to, right? The whole thing is so fucking crazy when you actually look at how it works, right? There's so many stops along the way that should have happened for people to not get put into that trap. And it just
But
the
I think it
outcome,
was a trap. That's
it
the
was
right
a
word.
trap, but
It was a
like it was a
trap.
sales trap. It was a marketing trap, okay? By all parties involved. There's so
Sure,
many
but
complicit people.
including the people who won, because they would go to their parties and it's like, we
Yeah.
bought a few pre-constructions. The builder's already selling it for
Yeah.
100 grand more than I paid for it 3 weeks
I'm a
later.
genius.
You know what I mean? And everyone felt like an idiot
I got
because they're just like,
18 of
that's
them right
I
now.
make that in a year, and you just made it on, you know, 2 weeks of work. Like I can't believe that.
You
That's
got
the kind of money
18?
you're
I
making,
got 52.
right?
Fucking loser.
You
Right?
know,
But
and
this
that's
is
the
what's
problem.
happening.
So that was contributing to the trap. It was like it was honestly stupid to not
FOMO.
invest in pre-construction real estate at one point.
That's also the difference between this
I'm,
like
I
leverage.
guess,
yeah, I
technically, yeah.
didn't, but I'm just saying it was
No, it
stupid
was
to not, because everyone was making so much money at one point.
if you knew, right, like
Yeah,
when it would end, then there was
yeah,
a period of time where it was genius to do that, right?
yeah,
But I mean, if I was in it, right, from a very different perspective, I was in it, I was selling that stuff, I was creating land to make, like, I was in it from a different perspective, and I was like, I'm not buying any of these things. I don't care how great this looks,
Well, it's
right? You
always
guys do it. I'm just gonna like, do my thing here. But
yeah.
I
It's
could,
always been a higher risk, investment buying something that is not in existence. Whether it was like a good builder, reputable builder, not known, like, is this thing going to even be completed at any time? What's the value from where it's going to be? It's just that historically in that time period, it was one of those things that just always goes up. That was the same during that time period of like real estate in Canada.
right.
It always
Well,
went up. So you
well,
bought
here are
it.
the numbers for the people, because this is the news, so people want to know what's going on with the condo market. So down 60% in 2025 to just 1,599 units. This is the Greater Toronto Hamilton
What's
area.
that?
So
Closed
no,
units?
new condo sales.
How
All
many?
right. 1,599 in total in
What?
2025.
Oh my
So sales are
God.
down 60%, I guess, since
That was like a
the year
weekend
before,
a few years ago.
right? Marking the lowest total since 1991 and the fourth consecutive year of decline. According to Urbanation, sales are down 95% from 2021 and 91% below the 10-year average. Okay.
Can I just
So,
put that into context for a sec? Because we were doing
yeah,
like 120 something thousand a year before,
that's
right?
MLS. That's MLS. That's
But
MLS. That's resale. That's
oh, this
different.
is just
That's different. That's not, yeah, yeah,
pre-construction
yeah. So
condo or houses? What were we doing before?
pre-construction homes,
60,000 a
pre-construction
year?
sales. I'll do the math on it in a second. Q4 only had 262 new condos sold. So Q4 to 2025 is the lowest quarterly total since 1990. Record 28 new condo projects were canceled. We had a huge increase in the purpose-built rentals, some of those projects, but it did not offset the overall decline in new construction starts. So we are in a multi-decade low in starts. So even the pre-con purpose-built rentals is still not satisfying
So
the.
what do you think then? Your take on from both your perspectives is if all these things are canceling and there's no starts happening too, and real estate is cyclical. So 5 years from now, when there's nothing being finished, like there's all these buildings being finished right now, is that a significant enough shift in the market for these people that do hang on to potentially make or recoup some of those or all of those losses?
No, and I think it'll create a rental issue eventually. But I think that so many people got burned and so many people were buying as investors. I think population growth is going to change in Canada going forward. I think our economy is going to be super stagnant for a long time. That's not going to lead for more people wanting to be here. There's going to be more Canadians leaving the country. There's going to be more Canadians hurting. So they're not going to be looking for their own space. They'll say, I'm going to live with more people. So I think it's way less than what a developer would pitch right now, which is all their sales centers right now is
Yeah.
buy now because their sales are down and the inventory and the new starts and look right here, all this demand. Oh my God. Like that's the chart that every developer would be showing right now. And I don't buy into it.
No,
I
not
think we
me.
did overbuild. I think we overbuild.
Yeah,
And I think that's the problem is the units that will start being built are going to be larger units that are going to be suitable for end users and the whole investor pre-con market won't come back for a very long time. Are you a real estate agent and you're looking to make a change anywhere in Ontario? Guess what? We're hiring. Franklin Associates, #1 team in the GTA for all Remax teams, #1 team for all teams from all companies for number of units sold throughout Toronto. So if you're looking to make a change, best decision I ever made was to join Franklin Associates. Go to jointeamleo.com and we can set up a call.
I think we have a whole bunch of pain still coming in that segment. I think that, all the stuff being built right now is at risk of all kinds of stuff happening when closings are going to happen. Anything closing now cannot possibly be valued at the price people paid for it when they purchased it. I can't see any scenario that would be the case on anything completing anytime soon. So I think whatever is being built, as it comes on the market, we get more and more problems because I don't think absorption is going fast enough for what is coming down the pipe. While all of these apartment buildings that are supposed to be coming online will stall out because the finances don't make sense with the dropping rents. And so I think the divide between what's coming later and what we need will expand, but we have to absorb all this shit. And I don't know where prices are at by the time that happens because all that absorption doesn't allow prices to go up. That's for sure. I mean, some segments, they do what they do, but this is the overall broad kind of economy or the broad kind of market. And it's really not doing so good. And it's really looking like it will get worse before it gets better. And so,
Let's add into that too the 60% of mortgage renewals that are all those final 1.49, 1.7% rates that people maybe did borrow money out of their home to buy these things are all coming up for renewal finally this.
Higher,
So
right?
now we're coming up to, those from 1.7 to 4% now, or whatever that may be. Now they can adjust and extend amortizations, but to bring in what we were talking about before, maybe their primary residence value has gone down and they
Yeah.
can't even like refinance or restructure it.
Or they can't
Mhm.
afford the amount it will take now at
Yeah.
3% higher than what it was. No problem when it was $250 more a month, but now
Well,
that it's
but this is
1,200.
this is my point though, to add that fuel to the fire is like maybe like if they had a 20-25 year AM, okay, well, we could extend it to back to 30 with that money to then be able to absorb it. But if you cannot refinance it and the bank won't extend your amortization back without like an appraisal and actually refinancing the home and the value's gone down, you're stuck at just renewing that mortgage amount. So you
Well,
have to.
not only that, you're stuck with a an auto renewal where a lot of people, they can't even afford it before. They were so stretched before that now if they went under the scrutiny of really getting reapproved for a better rate or a better deal, they would not qualify. And so they have to go with whatever's presented from their current lender at probably a rate that's more than they could get on the open market. But they don't even know if they're going to have a job next month or next year, right? Like if you're in your 50s and you work in a fucking office or you sit there on a computer all day and you don't think you're fucked soon, you're even more fucked than I think you're going to be. Because not only are you fucked, you're dumb and you're fucked, right? If you're just sitting in an office all day sending emails that you got from somebody else that sent you an email, or you're doing a spreadsheet all day, you're fucked soon, right? And we haven't even seen the whole fallout of that thing.
That's
So,
that's the other issue, yeah.
right.
It's
So,
not
but
it's
like,
not just the real estate side of things, but actual economical pressures that are going to continue, that are going to get worse and worse
continue.
Well,
for the individual. Canada, like I said when you came on the call, Zach, I'm getting bullish. I feel like the country is going to go in a direction that over the next 20, 30 years is going to be better for us than staying just reliant on the US for everything.
Yeah.
But the individual Canadian right now is going to suffer for
People better
foreseeable
start
future.
liking being in mines and being on rigs, right? If you want to make any fucking money around here, you better get a
Yeah,
shovel, right?
yeah.
And like some goggles because,
Some
and
ibuprofen.
right? And maybe like a mask
on
because
the
you're gonna,
boats, maybe the boats too. You could hop on a boat and just become like a fisher. That might be some demand
A
there.
fisher, a
Or
fisherman.
fishermen's, like there might be some stuff we
well,
could.
there might be,
On
but
the
I
East
mean,
Maybe.
Coast.
imagine a big robotic arm with a net. I mean, I think there won't be too many fishermen left. But I'm
Yeah.
not kidding. People got to be really fucking cognitive of what is actually coming down the pipe. If you have a job, okay, you better figure out how you're going to protect it or what you're going to get into fast because
Yeah.
everybody's making less money and everybody's looking at these little fucking apps for $20 that will replace a $50,000 a year person. Okay. I'm not even kidding. And so if we combine that, okay, so let's say you can get a renewal and you can kind of figure out how to pay for this thing for a while still, right? How many people are in that boat that got the auto renewal, can't already afford the goddamn thing, haven't lost their job yet, but they're gonna? Right? Like what happens then as the boomers are all getting out of their big stuff and into the smaller stuff, and none of the stuff that TK mentioned before that he thinks will happen, the bigger stuff for the end user, pencils anywhere but the lowest end possible or the highest end possible, right? So that product that we need, it's impossible. I'm telling you, it's impossible. It looks good on a couple of performers right now, but it will not work out well, at least not now, right? There's nothing that works. So it's like mix all that shit into the real stew because that's the real stew. And we still haven't even like taken into account immigration, right? And fucking global wars that are heating up like crazy and all this stuff, right? But I'm not kidding. I mean, imagine owning a silver mine right now, right? Or imagine being willing to be a miner. I mean, that's where the jobs are at. But all our kids, can you imagine your kids, TK, being fucking miners? I mean, my
No,
kids,
but I
they
think
don't
I
even
think
go
the
outside.
I think the young generation right now is actually getting the right skills and tools
Minecraft, they're
to
getting
be able
ready.
to get ready. Like they're basically gearing up for being able to socialize at home, stay at home, work from home.
And use AI,
Facilitate tech. Yeah, you
use
facilitate
AI in
technology.
Minecraft to
Yeah,
design, architect. Do you see those apps that
Yeah.
Minecraft?
yeah.
Kids can
Exactly.
find a perfectly structural building,
Yeah.
like 10 years old, and they're
And AI is not replacing every job. It's a fear that people have. I get it,
A
but
lot of
like
jobs.
AI sucks.
A
AI is
lot of jobs.
very good at certain things, but it is nowhere near as accurate, predictable, and safe and reliable as a human being who's specially trained.
I think
So
there's a big mortgage market shift in AI in the coming
mortgage more than real estate, unfortunately,
like
because
because
there's
there's
going to be a
all the underwriting and fulfillment jobs that
yeah.
are collecting documents and looking and doing a pre-approval. Like, how is that not done in 15 seconds by plugging all
Yeah.
your information into
Yeah.
AI?
15
What about
seconds
what
is
about
long.
what
That's a
about
long time.
let's talk a little bit about fraud. I'm still I've been opening up my eyes since I started this podcast that there's more mortgage fraud than I was exposed to before. Okay? So there is more mortgage fraud out
A
there than
little
I
bit
know
of
about.
fraud. Yeah, a little
So it's
bit.
still going on. What about the Canadian CRA having on, I guess, on it's a credit bureau or some sort of system that banks would then verify people's income to prevent fraud through CRA? Is
Very
that going
hard
to
to
happen?
create this system. Very difficult
There's
to create
privacy
that
issues that
system.
people have with it, but what do you
Come
think,
on.
Zach?
There were tools that, and with varying degrees of being removed and added into the mortgage market. Now, I haven't looked at them in a while and seen what's that it's developed, but where you could get people's NOAs and documents, like they give you permission and you just log in and it just spits out their actual NOAs,
Yeah.
T1s, whatever information directly from the CRA. They don't
Yeah,
even
but
have
you do that with
to
your
talk.
accountant or anybody else who's approved. Yeah, but it's not mandatory.
No, but
Mortgages.
there was just a like you didn't even have to go through an accountant. That's the reason it got shut down. These companies were popping up that
Yeah.
were providing the service, $30 to a mortgage broker. You just get permission from the client and then you get all their documents direct from the source.
Yeah.
So at least that kind of helps with the mortgage fraud piece, but it does all of that stuff, no matter what happens with the CRA interference and all that. In regards to mortgage fraud light, I call this LITE, light version of fraud, that a lot of things happen at branch level, at broker level, at this property is going to be a rental property, but it's not. And then
Sure.
there's also going to be
I've been part of that. I've been
like,
part of that.
like,
That's
like,
normal. Where
like all
where
of that. But that's why when you say a
yeah.
statistic like, 60% of the mortgages have fraud,
True, true,
you
true.
bump in all that, like the high level
90,
make
Like
90.
we're gonna say that your other property's being rented out right now just to get the approval, and then after we get the approval, we'll sell it. Like things
and
like that.
that's
That
also
that that's
like
kind of normal. I
but
know.
even at a bank level, like this isn't
Yeah,
like a mortgage broker specific and there's bad apples or whatever. Like the
yeah.
are
Strategy.
directly doing it at the banks are directly doing this at bank level. You go in and a mortgage should never be approved, or like I look
Yeah,
at a file and then they walk into a whatever
yeah,
bank and the bank was like, "Yeah, you're approved." I'm like, "That's insane. Like this
yeah.
shouldn't." Or even
We're
kind of fake docs and
Do
everything
you
else.
yeah.
think you
We're
can
gonna
get me a statement that says this?
Yeah.
can you pay off that loan right now with some borrowed funds, and then after we close, go and get it again, and or things like that. So yeah, I get
Take
that. And
that
so
line off of the spreadsheet.
mortgage fraud light will always be
Yeah. The
part that'll
real
never go away. That'll
and the
never go
people
away.
that are doing
Strategy.
the big fake docs things have these systems. Like there's big players out there in the
Yeah,
space that
yeah,
are doing that as well.
It's
yeah,
a
yeah,
it's
yeah,
Know
a
yeah.
that for
good
a fact. The
good
big market
racket.
brokers that are doing complete, fake.
Entire communities, it's
Yeah.
normal. It's just like that's what you do. Like you just
Yeah.
like no, you go to the guy and he'll get you whatever mortgage you want and
Give
make sure that
him
everything's
$1,000 or whatever. And
right.
like there was a line that I learned a while ago from when I first started. And if someone called me, can I get a little, can you do something for me? Can you help me? I was like, yeah, for sure. I'll do that for you. It's $5 million. They're like, what? Why would I'm like, well, that's how much money, I want to make over my if I'm gonna
Career.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
license,
lose my license.
I'm
Yeah.
like
That's what my mortgage guy used to say to me too. Yeah, my
yeah.
mortgage guy used to say that to me too. That's why I was always like, okay, nobody does this. This is not a
Yeah.
real thing.
No,
But he was like,
when
you literally lose your license if you get caught. Why would I do that? And I was like, yeah, you're right. That makes
when
sense.
when we started this show, TK was I think being pretty honest when you didn't realize how much shit was
I
actually
couldn't
going
find a
on
guy.
under
I
the
tried to
hood.
find
Yeah.
a guy one time. I couldn't even find a guy. I said, okay, this is not that easy to get. But over the
Me-
last 2 years, I think thing now. I'm like, oh wow, this is like everybody does this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my experience was a little different than TK's. I think it's not very difficult to find if you need it, like anything else in this country, in this beautiful city we live in Toronto. It's like, if you need it and you can afford it, you can find it, right? I think that's pretty much how the world works
I had a
nowadays.
guy, I tried,
I knew
I
a
phoned some
guy,
people, I filled out
found a
some
guy.
forms on Facebook, I asked around, I did all that, and
You should have
basically it led
driven to
nowhere.
Brampton,
It led
TK.
nowhere, and I said,
There might
sorry,
be a
man,
specific area
you're
you gotta look
screwed.
into.
Yeah, you should have drove to Brampton and you wouldn't have even had to say anything.
There's a
You would
sign
have
on the
just been
lawn,
approached by everyone,
the
TK.
red light sticker on the post. It's just like
Maybe certain
fraudulent
real estate
mortgage.
brokerages, they have the ads on the front window.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
no credit, no income, no problem. It's
Let,
not just the
yeah,
let's be clear. This is a geographic issue. It has nothing to do with race or nationality or anything, TK. Is
yeah.
that
I know, I
correct?
know.
Would
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
be,
of course.
would
I'm
that
just
be a
saying
fair
certain
statement?
communities, it's
Not even
normalized, so it's a
communities. It's
cultural thing.
geographic areas
They'll
of the
talk
city.
about it openly. They like imagine going to like okay, I won't even say a community, but a very like a community that's very
Closely knit.
no, that's been around Canada for a long time. So it could be any color skin, any color culture, whatever it is. But imagine at a dinner party them going like, "So I had my banker forge my income documents in order for me to obtain the mortgage on my home." Everyone would be
Ah,
like,
ah,
that's
ah.
criminal. Like they would be like, what do you like? Are you dumb? Like, you could lose everything. It'd be such a stressor. But in certain communities, it's like it's very normalized. They're
it's
just
more
like,
like I got a guy. Oh,
I
awesome.
know a
Got a guy.
guy.
they're
Yeah.
just like, yeah, well, I bought the home, and you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
What do you
where
mean?
I work, but don't worry, he took care of the paperwork to make sure that I got qualified, and my three brothers are gonna move in, and they're gonna help me pay the mortgage. It's fine. Like, and
But
we're gonna rent out all those rooms and all that kind of stuff. Like,
the
it's so
guy that knows the
normalized.
guy, he makes some money too, right? Like he's not just saying I know a guy. He's making an introduction
There's
and he's making a
I
little
got
bit of
offered that,
money,
Darryl. That's why I'm
right?
saying this right. I got
Yeah.
someone said to me, a guy said, if I bring those
Take
deals, I
care of
get a
you.
cash envelope. And I was just like, cash
Absolutely.
envelope. He said, cash envelope sounds amazing.
It's a
Great. I just have
service.
to commit mortgage fraud, lose my license, and never trade again. I mean, this is a good deal. I get
Hey,
$500.
well, but hold on a
500
second.
bucks,
So, but
short
look,
fee,
there's
baby.
a there's a line here where it's like, I
Yeah.
guess mortgage fraud light is cool to be a
Yeah.
part of, right? But like anything
It's
north of light or
yeah,
more
it's
than
just
light,
so like
Yeah.
it's so in every bit, like every bank and every. It's not like it's exclusive because I think a lot of this like news stuff is like these mortgage brokers or this real estate
Yeah.
agent company is. This is where it's all stemming from. It's like, well, no, it's
No,
actually
it's everybody.
on
It's
TD
everybody.
and
Yeah.
Scotia and RBC. Like,
But it's
these
part
guys
it's
also do.
it's a necessary evil. Like, and I'm not saying like I condone it
because of the
or I take
system.
part, but it's because of the system. It's a necessary evil that people have to take
Got to
part in.
break the rules
And
to make it work.
I'm
It's a
sure that
good
no
deal.
mortgage broker wants to do those deals, and that's not his bread and butter, and that they love just beautiful, clean deals every week.
Yeah,
But it's all part of the system for
yeah.
the train to keep moving forward. So
If you don't do it, we won't
yeah,
bring you the next one. Sorry, we're gonna go with the guy that was more creative than you. You
yeah.
dummy. This is the
But
problem.
we're at the end of the show here, Zach. So
We got
good
bigger
chat.
fish to fry today, TK.
Good chat. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks.
Hopefully
Made it.
people can
Me.
need some debt restructuring or optimization, as you said. So where can they find you? Do a little shameless plug here.
Yeah, man. So social media, mortgages with Zach on Instagram. You can see some of my stuff. Like I said, my main client avatar here is the mom and pop landlord out there, maybe one rental property or basement suite. They just bought the home and they never really kind of sat down and said, how can we actually make some money off this thing or make it more efficient? So anybody out there, one rental property, you want to review what you've been doing so far and how I can help, mortgages with Zach, that's the best place to kind of first see some content. I host a weekly webinar on the rental cash damming and debt optimization strategies. So it's me live every single week, chatting about how to hopefully make some money off some real estate in Canada.
Nice.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Well,
Well, you
thanks for
made it
coming
to
on
the
today.
end. That was good.
Yep.
Most
Thanks for
people
coming.
get cut off a long,
Well,
long.
you gave me the warning. You said be lively
Did it.
and funny. You get to stick on, so I'm glad I made it.
We're
Well,
here.
well done, sir.
Coldest day of the year. Stay warm. Stay safe. If you're listening still and you want to like, comment, or subscribe, now's a good time to do it because the show's about to end.
It's about to end. Thank you, sir. We will see you later.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Zach.
Mr. TK.
Darryl?
It's just the two of us again. That was a good one. I feel like that was too
We had
bad
some
his
good
mic
content.
sucked so fucking bad. Why can't people, they know they're coming on a podcast.
They don't have
Buy a
podcast mics.
microphone for
They
God's
don't have
sakes.
podcasts.
Have a headset or something. Like just don't talk into the
It
fucking
wasn't horrible.
room
It
for
wasn't horrible.
fuck's sakes.
We've had worse.
We've had worse, but
Yeah.
everybody's got to get their shit together. This is a professional
This is a real
podcast.
professional
TK. Like,
podcast
what
here.
the
We're number
fuck?
one. I'm going to a Frank Leo awards thing tonight. So there's a couple guys there that I'm going to try to, get some new guests for us here. Some big players.
Oh wow, that's
See
what
what
we
I can
need.
do.
Big players.
Yeah,
We need,
see what I can do.
but we need entertaining big players. TK, don't
I
bring
think I
on
got
any.
I think I got some entertaining ones. Let
Well,
me
that's
try my
good.
best.
I'm just gonna go
Okay.
walk over to the Tom Story show now, and I'll see
Okay.
you later. All right.
Enjoy. I got to do a video for Tom. I keep forgetting.
Oh, I did
right
it.
now.
I did it days
I'm gonna do
ago.
it I'm gonna do it right now.
You're very busy, TK. You're the
gonna do it right
busiest
now.
guy on earth. It's really
I'm gonna
amazing.
do it right now. I'm gonna do it right now.
Right now.
Okay.
Well, it won't
Yes.
make it onto
Darryl,
the show. You
Darryl,
missed the.
Darryl.
You missed it.
Daryl, I'll see you
Love
later.
me. Adios.
All right. Bye.